Listen to me. 2025 is not waiting for you. It's not gonna slow down. It's not gonna hand you a title. You wanna lead. Then it's time to wake up and go get it. This ain't about being the loudest voice in the room. This is about showing up when others quit. This is about sacrifice, discipline, vision. It's about doing the hard stuff when nobody's watching and style, giving it everything you've got. You want to be a leader? Then stop talking about it and start being it. The world's looking for real ones. People who lead by example. People who show up with fire in their chest and purpose in their soul. So today, right now, I'm giving you the key solutions to step into that role. No fluff, no sugarcoating. If you're serious about rising in 25, then lock in. It's time to stop surviving and start leading. Let's go. Leadership doesn't begin in the boardroom. It doesn't start when you get a title. It starts the moment you open your eyes in the morning. That first hour of your day determines everything. It sets the tone. It sets the pace. It sets the energy. If you want to become a true leader in 2025, you must first learn to own your morning. Because the way you start your day is the way you lead your life. Most people wake up reacting. They roll over, hit snooze 3 times, check their phone, scroll through distractions, and already they're behind. Already the world owns them. But a leader doesn't react. They initiate. A leader doesn't wait to be told. They decide. You have to stop letting life dictate your flow and start creating the rhythm yourself. Leadership is built in the invisible moments, the ones no one sees, the ones that happen before the sun rises. Owning your morning is about more than waking up early. It's about taking command of your mind before the world can get to it. It's about aligning yourself with your goals, your values, and your purpose before stepping into the chaos of the day. Because once that day starts moving, it's a battle. Emails, responsibilities, people pulling you in every direction. But if you've grounded yourself before all that noise hits, if you claim the morning, you won't just survive the day, you'll dominate it. You must create a system for your morning that is non-negotiable. Leaders don't rely on motivation, they rely on structure. Whether it's prayer, meditation, reading, journaling, working out, planning your day, whatever centers you, fuels you, prepares you, you make that your ritual. It's sacred, it's consistent, and it's yours. Think about it. How do the greatest athletes, CEOs, and warriors in the world begin their day? With intention. They don't just wake up and win it. They wake up and win it. They know that the first decision of the day creates a domino effect. If the first thing you do is hit snooze, you've already lost. You've already told your mind, comfort is more important than purpose. And that single decision leaks into everything else. Your discipline, your energy, your choices. But when you rise with power, when you get up before the alarm, when you hit the ground with gratitude, when you take that first hour and pour it into your mind and your mission, you've already won. You've already led yourself, and you cannot lead others until you learn to lead yourself. That's the real secret self-leadership. If you can't direct your own focus, control your own habits, and master your own mind, how can you expect to lead a team, a business, or a family? You want to influence others, but you haven't even learned how to influence your own thoughts. That starts in the morning, before the meetings, before the emails, before anyone else has access to you. 2025 is not the year for being casual. It's not the year for waking without purpose. The world is moving fast. Distractions are everywhere. and comfort is chasing you like a shadow. If you don't own your morning, the world will own your day. And once you lose the day, you lose the week, you lose the month, you lose momentum. Leaders don't let that happen. This is also about mental clarity. You need space in the morning to think, to reflect, to visualize. Most people are drowning in noise, notifications, opinions, endless content. But a leader carves out time to hear their own voice. That still, powerful voice inside that says, this is who I am. This is where I'm going. This is what matters. If you don't hear that voice in the morning, you'll be led by everyone else's voices throughout the day. Your morning is where you sharpen your weapons, your beliefs, your focus, your commitment. Every rep in the gym, every page you read, every goal you review, you're training yourself to think like a leader, act like a leader, move like a leader. Because when the day throws obstacles at you, and it will, you don't flinch. You're already ready. You've already faced yourself before you face the world. Owning your morning is also about energy. You can't lead from exhaustion. You can't lead from burnout. You need to generate energy. And the best time to do that is first thing. Get your body moving. Get your blood pumping. Hydrate, stretch, breathe, whatever it takes. Because when your body is strong, your mind follows. And a sharp mind is a leader's most valuable asset. It's not about doing what's popular. It's about doing what's required. Leaders live differently. They think differently. They rise earlier. They train harder. They plan deeper. And they don't need anyone to push them. They've learned how to push themselves. So here's the truth: if you want to be a leader in 2025, stop focusing only on the big stages and grand moments. Start focusing on the small, quiet hours when no one is watching. That's where leaders are built. In the dark, in the cold, in the repetition of consistent mornings done with passion and purpose. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. Just start with the morning. Claim that first hour. Guard it with everything you've got. Treat it like the most important meeting of your day. Because it is. It's a meeting with yourself, with your vision, with your destiny. And when you start showing up to that meeting every day, on time, prepared, hungry, you'll notice something shift. You'll walk into the world different. You'll carry yourself with more power. You'll speak with more confidence. You'll handle setbacks with more composure. Because you didn't start the day waiting for life to happen to you. You started the day leading it. So tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, before you react to anything, ask yourself, am I leading yet? Or am I still waiting for permission? Own your morning. Own your mission. That's how you lead in 2025. Your leadership is not about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about talking the most, demanding attention, or dominating every conversation. Real leadership, especially in 2025, is about mastering the art of listening first, speaking last, and leading with wisdom, not ego. In a world where everyone is rushing to be heard, the true leader is the one who has the discipline to slow down, absorb what's being said, and respond with clarity and purpose. Listening first is not a passive act. It's an intentional decision to prioritize understanding over reacting. When you truly listen, you're not just waiting for your turn to speak. You're seeking to understand what others are thinking, feeling, and trying to express. You're looking beyond the words. You're paying attention to body language, tone, timing, and energy. And when you do this consistently, people feel seen, they feel respected, and they begin to trust you. That trust is the foundation of leadership. Speaking last is a test of character. It requires humility. It means putting your ego aside long enough to allow others to share their ideas without fear of being shut down or overshadowed. It doesn't mean you don't have something valuable to say. It means you're gathering all the information, feeling the room. And then, when you do speak, your words carry weight. They are measured. They are impactful. Leaders don't lead by controlling every conversation. They lead by creating space for others to rise. They know when to speak and when not to. In 25, leadership is not about being the center of attention. It's about being the center of gravity. People are drawn to those who listen with intention and speak with meaning. That's the kind of leadership that creates movements, not just moments. Listening also sharpens your decision making. The more you hear, the more data you have. You begin to understand different perspectives, uncover blind spots, and see the bigger picture. This doesn't mean you agree with everything you hear. It means you respect it enough to consider it. You filter through the noise, extract the truth, and then make decisions that reflect both strength and empathy. One of the greatest mistakes you can make as a leader is assuming you already know everything. In 2025, change is moving faster than ever. Markets shift, cultures evolve, technology disrupts. The leader who stops listening is the leader who stops growing. If you're not listening, you're outdated. If you're not listening, you're disconnected. And a disconnected leader becomes irrelevant fast. Think about the leaders you admire, the ones who made you feel heard, who took the time to understand you. They didn't interrupt. They didn't rush you. They leaned in. They were present. And because of that, you followed them, not out of obligation, but out of respect. That's the kind of leader you must become. But it's not easy. In a world of noise, distraction, and endless opinions, truly listening is a discipline. It means putting your phone down. It means silencing the urge to jump in. It means being fully present, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. When someone speaks to you, are you listening to respond or listening to understand? That distinction changes everything. Speaking last also requires courage, because sometimes what you need to say won't be popular. Sometimes it will challenge the group. Sometimes it will call out the truth that everyone else is avoiding. But when you've listened first, when you've truly absorbed what's being said, your words have context, they have power. They are rooted in understanding, not just opinion. And when you speak from that place, people listen. Not because you demand it, but because you've earned it. Listening first and speaking last also builds emotional intelligence. You begin to sense the unspoken dynamics in the room. You pick up on tension, on fear, on uncertainty. And because you're not rushing to fill the silence, you can respond with sensitivity, with strategy, and with strength. That kind of emotional awareness is a leadership superpower in 2025. It also prevents unnecessary conflict. So many arguments, breakdowns, and failures in leadership happen because someone didn't listen long enough. They assumed, they judged, they reacted. But the leader who listens is the leader who understands. And the leader who understands is the one who builds unity, not division. Remember, your words are tools. They can build or destroy. And the more you listen, the more precise your words become. You don't need to say a lot. You just need to say what matters. One sentence delivered at the right moment can change the course of a team, a meeting, or a life. But that sentence only comes when you've been silent long enough to hear what's really going on. In 2025, with so much noise in the world, people are not looking for another voice. They're looking for clarity. They're looking for someone who can cut through the fog, who can speak truth into confusion. And that only happens when you first learn to observe, to reflect, to process. You also lead better relationships when you listen first. People are more willing to follow someone who values them, who sees them, who gives them space to be honest without fear of being dismissed. And when you consistently create that environment, people will give you their loyalty. Not because they have to, but because they want to. So if you're serious about becoming a leader in 2025, don't just focus on what you say. Focus on how well you listen. Practice it, train it, master it, because that skill will take you farther than any motivational speech or clever strategy. It will make you someone others trust, respect, and willingly follow. Leadership is not a performance. It's a relationship. And the relationship begins when you stop speaking and start listening. Because when you listen first and speak last, your voice will be the one that people lean in to hear. And not because you shouted the loudest, because you waited until the silence was ready to receive your words. Real leadership in 2025 isn't about being seen. It's about being consistent. It's about doing the work when there's no applause, no spotlight, and no recognition. The world is full of people who show up big when the cameras are on. But where are they when the lights go off? True leaders grind in the dark. They build in silence. They don't need validation because they're driven by mission, not by likes, followers, or external praise. If you're waiting for someone to notice your effort, you're already off track. Leadership begins when you stop needing to be celebrated and start needing to be effective. It's the hours you spend studying when your friends are out. It's the mornings you rise before the sun when no one is watching. It's the sacrifices you make behind the scenes to build something bigger than yourself. That's where the real growth happens. That's where leaders are made. We live in a time where everyone wants to go viral, but few want to go deep. Everyone wants the rewards, but few want to pay the price. Everyone wants to be a leader, but no one wants to lead themselves in private. But leadership doesn't come from platforms. It comes from patterns, from routines, from decisions that feel small but build muscle over time. The grind without applause is what separates the committed from the curious. Curious people show up when it's easy. You committed people show up when it's hard. And when you make showing up a non-negotiable, you build credibility with yourself. And that credibility, that's your real confidence. Not hype, not talk, but the quiet knowing that you did the work even when you could have walked away. Because here's the truth. How you do the little things is how you'll do everything. If you cut corners in private, you will cut corners in public. If you slack off when no one is watching, don't expect to perform under pressure. You can't fake consistency. You can't shortcut mastery. You can't cheat the process. Leadership demands integrity. When it's easy, and especially when it's not. Every workout you push through. Every early morning you show up for. Every task you finish when you feel like quitting. Those are the bricks. And brick by brick, you build something solid, something permanent, something people can trust. Because in 2025, trust is currency. If people can't trust your process, they won't trust your leadership. And when you grind without applause, you learn to love the process for what it is. not just for what it produces. You begin to value the doing, not just the outcome. You stop chasing results and start chasing excellence. And excellence is magnetic. It draws people in. Not because you ask for attention, but because they feel the weight of your work ethic. You want to stand out in 2025. Stop shouting. Start showing up. Start stacking your wins in silence. While others are seeking attention, you should be building systems. While others are performing, you should be preparing. While others are watching, you should be working. Because when the opportunity comes, and it will come, it'll be too late to prepare. You either are ready or you're not. And readiness only comes from consistent, quiet, disciplined execution. There's a special kind of power in working without applause. It makes you dangerous. It makes you unpredictable. Because no one sees you coming. While they were sleeping, you were practicing. While they were complaining, you were learning. While they were waiting, you were building. And when you finally speak, when you finally lead, your presence hits different. Because it's not just noise. It's backed by work. But be clear, this kind of grind is not about burnout. It's not about doing more for the sake of doing more. It's about being deliberate, about showing up for the right things with the right focus. It's about investing your energy into what matters most. It's about alignment, making sure your actions match your mission. When you have that kind of clarity, you don't waste time proving your worth. You live your worth. This silent grind also teaches you patience. And patience is one of the most underrated traits of elite leaders. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, the leader who can delay praise, delay rewards, and still stay focused, that person is unstoppable. They're not addicted to approval. They're addicted to growth. And let's talk about resilience. Because when you grind without applause, you develop a kind of mental toughness that can't be taught in a classroom. You learn how to self-motivate, how to keep going when the results aren't instant, how to push through the boredom, the monotony, the repetition, because real growth isn't always exciting. It's gritty. It's the same moves over and over until they become second nature. Eventually, your work starts to speak. People start noticing. But by the time they see you, you've already become the person who earned that attention. You're not performing for the crowd. You're leading because of the work you did long before the crowd showed up. So here's the challenge. Stop waiting for someone to validate your effort. Validate yourself. Get clear on your vision. Set your standard and hold yourself to it. Whether there's praise or not, whether it's fun or not, whether it's noticed or not. Because that's what separates leaders from followers. Leaders do what's right, even when no one's watching. Grind in silence. Let your results speak. Let your leadership emerge. Not because you forced it, but because you earned it. That's what it means to grind without applause. That's what it takes to lead in 2025. In a world driven by trends, emotion, and constant digital noise, leadership in 2025 demands more than just charisma. It demands clarity. It requires the ability to lead with vision, not emotion. Because emotions fluctuate. They rise and fall with your circumstances. They shift with stress, disappointment, and conflict. But vision is steady. Vision doesn't get rattled by your bad days or distracted by your good ones. Vision keeps you focused, keeps you grounded, and most importantly, it keeps you moving forward. To lead with vision means you operate from a deep internal compass. You don't lead based on how you feel in the moment. You lead based on where you're going and why you started. Emotions are loud, but they're temporary. Vision is quiet, but it's eternal. And when you learn to silence the noise of emotion and tune into the power of vision, you step into a different level of leadership. You become someone who doesn't just react, you respond. You don't just survive pressure, you rise under it. Too many people want to be leaders, but they lead from a place of emotion. They get angry and make impulsive decisions. They get discouraged and stop showing up. They get jealous and start tearing others down. That's not leadership, that's instability. And in 2025, with the pace of change accelerating faster than ever, unstable leaders will collapse under the weight of pressure. The ones who stand will be those who have developed the discipline to lead from vision, anchored, unshakable, relentless. Vision is the blueprint. It's the long-term picture that you hold in your mind even when reality doesn't match. It's what gives you the ability to take losses, face resistance, and push through failure. Because you're not focused on the moment. You're focused on the mission. Leaders with vision don't panic when things go wrong. They stay calm. They zoom out. They make decisions based on direction, not desperation. When you lead from emotion, you're always reacting to what's in front of you. You get stuck in short-term thinking. You try to fix everything immediately. You chase validation, fight for approval, and burn out trying to control everything. But when you lead from vision, you understand that not every battle is worth fighting. You know when to speak and when to be silent. You know when to act and when to wait. You operate with patience, precision, and purpose. Let's be clear, this doesn't mean you ignore your emotions. Emotions are valuable. They give insight into yourself and others. But you don't let them run the show. You process them, you feel them, but then you return to the mission. That's what separates powerful leaders from emotional reactors. Leaders have emotional awareness, but also emotional discipline. They don't make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings. Your vision must become your foundation. It must be written down, spoken daily, reviewed consistently. Because if you don't stay connected to your vision, the world will distract you. The pressure will pull you off course. One setback and you'll start questioning your path. One argument and you'll start doubting your team. One bad day and you'll be ready to quit. But if your vision is clear and deeply rooted, you won't fall for those traps. You'll see the emotion for what it is, just a wave. And waves pass. Leaders who lead with vision become beacons for others. In a chaotic world, people are searching for stability. They're looking for someone who's not moved by every storm, someone who holds steady when others fall apart. That's what vision does. It makes you a lighthouse. Not shouting, not forcing, just being consistent and bright, even when everything around you goes dark. And here's the truth, not everyone will understand your vision. Not everyone will see it. That's okay. It's not their job to see it. It's your job to hold it. And sometimes that means leading through loneliness. It means making decisions that others won't agree with. It means standing alone at times. But if your vision is real, if it's strong enough, it will guide you through the rejection, the criticism, and the doubt. To lead with vision also means to elevate others. True leadership is not about dragging people to your destination. It's about inspiring them to walk with you. And when your vision is clear, communicated, and lived out daily, others will feel it. They'll align with it, they'll commit to it. Vision creates alignment. It creates unity. It gives your team, your business, your family a reason to endure the hard seasons because they know where they're going. You cannot fake vision. You cannot pretend to care about something bigger than yourself if you haven't taken time to define it. So ask yourself, what's the mission? What legacy am I building? What does success look like beyond money, beyond recognition, beyond temporary wins? Until you answer those questions, your leadership will be fragile. But once you do, everything changes. Your actions gain weight, your words gain meaning, your presence gains power. In 2025, leading with emotion is not enough. The world is too volatile, too uncertain, too fast moving. You need something unshakable. You need a North Star. Vision becomes that star. It keeps you centered when others spiral. It gives you confidence when there's no guarantee. It reminds you who you are when everything around you is screaming to compromise. So lead with vision. Let it define your habits. Let it sharpen your discipline. Let it filter your relationships. Let it shape your identity. And when the pressure comes, and it will come, you won't break. Because you'll know, I'm not leading for today. I'm leading for tomorrow. I'm not just reacting, I'm building. That's the kind of leadership 2025 is demanding. Not reactive, not emotional, but rooted in purpose, grounded in clarity, focused on what matters. Because when the world gets noisy, only the leader with vision can see the path ahead. And the leader who sees the path leads the way. Let's be clear. 2025 is not for the weak-hearted. It's not for the hesitant. It's not for those who are still waiting for someone else to lead the way. It's for the ones who are ready to rise, ready to grind, ready to take full ownership of who they are and where they're going. Leadership isn't given. It's earned day by day, choice by choice, battle by battle. You want to be a leader in 2025? Then start with your mornings. Win the first hour and you'll start winning the day. Build routines that sharpen your focus and strengthen your discipline. When everyone else is sleeping, you're building. When others are hesitating, you're moving. That's how leaders are made. You want to lead. Listen first. Speak last. People follow those who make them feel understood. People trust those who observe before reacting. You don't need to dominate every room with noise. Your calm, your clarity, your presence will do the talking. In 2025, the loudest voice isn't the most powerful. The most grounded one is. You want to stand out, grind without applause, put in the work when no one's clapping, show up when it's uncomfortable, stay locked in when no one is watching. Let your discipline speak louder than your words. Let your consistency write the story of your leadership. Real respect isn't earned in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows. And above all, lead with vision, not emotion. You don't lead from impulse. Don't follow your feelings, follow your mission. Stay connected to your why. Emotions come and go, but vision keeps you steady. It's the fire that doesn't burn out. It's what separates the leaders who last from the ones who fold. This is your time, your season, your moment to become the kind of leader the world needs. Not the one who waits for approval, not the one who blames or complains, but the one who wakes up with fire, moves with purpose, listens with wisdom, and acts with power. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Because in 2025, the world won't follow words. They'll follow examples. And if you commit, if you stay consistent, if you stay hungry, you won't just lead. You'll transform yourself, your few team. So stand up, lock in, and lead the way.